Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Apologies for the issues and the delays of everything. And also, I apologize. Yeah, I don't know why, but I was trying to get my intro to play, guys. I'm on a new platform. I already kind of promoted that on my socials today. And yeah, it's not playing it. So I'm going to have to go away and kind of figure that out at some point. But I don't know why I wasn't playing. I had it on play on my side, but it wasn't showing on the screen. So I don't know. But we are here for an extra live show today. Obviously, I wasn't planning to do this, but I thought, obviously, I had the Luton lads on last night. Obviously, we was discussing it more from their point of view rather than our own. And I thought it'd be interesting to kind of come on here and do a match day kind of live show in the build up to the game. Because obviously, yeah, tonight, the day of the day, let's get the 3 points and all that. Let's see a good performance. But joining me this afternoon is, of course, Jack. How are you doing, mate? And my thumbnail designer. Big up to yourself. How's things?
I'm all right, mate. How are you? I'm glad. Hopefully, you're feeling a bit better.
Yeah, I'm just plowing on. I don't know how I do it, but I do. And your comments come up on screen now, so I've actually been able to. That I was saying
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah, look at this. I mean, I just don't. I just don't know if I like this platform. But yeah, no, it's good to have you on. And guys, I did say I'd promote him, obviously. Make sure you do go and show him some support on his own social. Obviously, just some fantastic content of his own on Instagram. So yeah, go and show him some support. Your name on there is Jack's Graphics 17. So go and show him some support. Really, really helps me out. And all the designs that you see on here from Jack, or maybe odd one or two, maybe not, but mostly um, is his work. So big up to yourself. But we are here obviously to discuss the game tonight. It's you can't beat that match day feeling, can you? You know what I mean? It's one of those where look, it's just you know what I'm gonna say, yeah. I'm gonna say it's such a nice feeling to actually be looking forward to going down there and watching the team play. Because obviously we've only had one game under Liam Manning, but if that's the flavour of what we're gonna get down here, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic because we have been starved of performances. We've been starved of a proper setup,
100%.
something to get behind, and now it's only one game, so I'm not getting carried away, but you've got to be encouraged by what we saw at the week. I know it was a derby, so that did add that extra spice to it. But for me, it still doesn't change how Liam Manning set up that team and what the decisions he made in the game as well. So, yeah, we just want more of the same, for sure. But Adam is in the chat. He says, yo, hello to you. Adam, I'm using a new software and I have no idea what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's just a bit. It's just a bit. Yeah, but I'm going to obviously start with our thoughts going into the game then. So for me, yeah, I do feel like I'm going into the game with confidence tonight. To be honest, not overly confident. You can never be overly confident. You can't take anybody for granted in this league. And we are coming up against a side in Luton who are just below us in the table. This is a massive 6-pointer for me because obviously they're 3 points behind us. I know they've got a game in hand on us as well, but if we win this game, we're 6 points ahead of them. So it is really, really important to get the 3 points tonight. But I just think for me, yeah, I'm confident. I feel like I'm encouraged by what we saw at the weekend. So let's continue that. And yeah, I've just been, what the word is, I think we've all just been given a boost, haven't we, over the weekend? And I just feel like we go into this game, the crowd will be up for it. I know it's obviously a night game, but I'm sure fans that may have stayed away with the league grant in charge, are going down tonight, even if it is a night game and even if it's cold and horrible, because we're infused by what we've seen. But what do you kind of feel about this game? How are you feeling ahead of the game?
Yeah, obviously went to Derby Day on Saturday. Absolutely buzzing with performance. The way what Lee Manning's got out the lads within 3 days, I think it was. Absolutely incredible. Obviously, I think from that game alone, better than what Lee Grant's done in all his time at the club. But yeah, even on Saturday, I felt this buzz before the game, and I've got it again today. Before the match, so I'm looking forward to it. Like you say, it's a big game. Obviously, Luton just below us, with teams having games in hand as well. We need to try pick up
Yeah.
the points where we can. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and then hopefully we can get the 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that for me as well, you make a good point there. Lee Man only had a few sessions going to that game at the weekend, and look what happened. So yeah, just back to basics. I think the players over the last few days as well. Obviously, I think the media duties player did after the game against Bradford, and then Ledson's been speaking in the build up to this as well.
Yeah.
It's that kind of shackles off approach now, the freedom to express themselves out there on the field, and that's what Lee Grant, unfortunately, the 27 games he took were absolute garbage. Even if we won, I didn't like the mentality. I didn't like anything about it. But I don't want to keep mentioning that guy's name because, look, but it's hard because we've just been scarred this season. But for me, yeah, I agree with what you're saying, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, kind of move on to what we want to see then. Well, like I said, I just wanted to build on what we saw at the weekend. I think, we want to see positive play from the start, you know what I mean? And more, just attack, just do what we did, aggression in there as well. And, we can't afford to just let off tonight, we haven't had much time. There's been a quick turnaround, and there's no time to rest in this league because there's another game around the corner. The focus is on tonight. Doesn't matter what happened on Saturday now, even though I've mentioned it. Doesn't matter what happened. We need to focus on the game now and what we need to do, because otherwise, you can't get too high in this league. You can't get too low. You've got to keep consistent. And Adam says from Ryan Ledson's interview, it sounds like Lee Grant did not let players express themselves. Yeah, I got a bit of a sense of that. Well, and I'm not surprised. A lot of these players didn't like Grant. I could see it. If we were feeling flat and bored to death with this guy in charge, then the players will have done it as well. I just can't imagine the training sessions that we do as well. All from the coaching manual, no adaptability and nothing. Absolutely useless. So yeah, no, I agree, mate. I mean, it is refreshing to see that team spirit back and togetherness.
Yeah.
And that connection between us and the players as well. And but what else do I want to say about this game? I mean, what did you? I know we're talking about the Luton game, but what did you make of this Liam Mannion? Because I was a little bit skeptical of it. Not like apparently that made me not supporting him back. That's what I was told on social media. But anyway, I don't really care. I was just a bit concerned because of his time at Norwich and the fans, obviously at Norwich, just didn't have anything good to say. Obviously, the flip side to that is his other clubs that he's been at, Bristol City, where he did so well. They had praise for him. So yeah, I mean, I was a little bit like, let's see what we're going to get here, because there were a lot of from Norwich fans saying his football was slow, backwards, sideways, just awful to watch. But we saw the complete opposite on Saturday. I just feel really encouraged by that. But I mean, the point itself, I mean, what did you make of it? Was he kind of a little bit like me, or was you like, no, let's just give him another chance just give him a fresh start. Forget what he did at Norwich because he's done good everywhere else he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, looking online, obviously, I've seen the stuff from the Norwich fans, but I've just looked at his record. What he did with MK Dons, Oxford, and even Bristol City. He has got it there. Obviously, Norwich, it didn't work out for him, but I just thought, let's give him a couple games, see what he's got, and see what he can do. And from Saturday's performance alone, I can see that that we've got something special here. And I think that he's wanting to get the best out of the players. And I just think we could, if we pick up a run of games, we'll be a team that we'll be a team that other teams in this league will want to be afraid of.
We want to be hard to beat, don't we? And I think that to me, what impressed me the most is we know how problematic this midfield has been for a while, but I loved that trio of McGuinn, Ledson, and Harness. I thought that was fantastic. That complemented each other so well, and obviously The shame about McGuane getting sent off, so he won't be available tonight.
Yeah,
But I think it's only the one game though, isn't it? That is going to be
yeah,
out
it
for. It's
should
not.
be.
Yeah, because it's two yellow
Yeah, it should be
cards, so
back
it's
on
not going to.
Saturday.
Yeah. I was impressed. Every player out there looked different, didn't it? And I just thought,
Yeah,
they look like brand new. Just look like a brand new team, to be
yeah,
honest with you. So yeah, no, I agree. I think it is one of those. But guys, get your comments in. Let me know what you're thinking ahead of the game. I know match day kind of, kind of feel a little bit different maybe on a match day in terms of leading up to it rather than the day before when you do these streams. But yeah, let me just have a look here. Liam has a track record at this level and done a good job in the championship apart from Norwich. Yeah, and I think you've got to kind of put into perspective that not every club a manager goes to is going to be successful, and that's okay. You know, that's just like anything in life. You can't do everything well. You know, some things suit you. He obviously didn't settle in at Norwich. He obviously didn't really feel like, I don't know, things can happen, can't they? And I just don't
yeah.
think it makes you a bad manager because you've done one
Oh no.
where you've had one job where it's just not gone to plan at all. So yeah, I kind of feel that way, to be honest with you. Now, let's see if it lets me switch the screen because, as I said, I just don't have a clue what I'm doing on it. I don't know what I'm doing on it. Right, hang on. Let's just. I mean, in terms of the lineup, then, because obviously I did do my lineup. I showed it on the screen last night, and I'm gonna share this screen. Hopefully, it transfers over smoothly. Yeah, it has done. There we are. So, obviously, this is my lineup now. For me, a lot of people are saying out there, let's get Humphries in there from the start because McGuane's not going to be playing, and that's fine. I understand that, but for me, when Humphries came on at the weekend, I felt like you could tell he hadn't played many minutes. He looked quite,
Yeah,
he looked quite sluggish to me. He looked a little bit off it. That's what I'd say. So I'm not really sure he's ready to start games yet. Because remember when he came in, he'd only had, like 10 minutes. I think he played like 10 minutes for Ipswich this season in the Championship. So he hardly had any football since last season. So this is my line. But would you make any changes to this lineup, or do you think this is a good kind of lineup to go with?
yeah. I mean, looking from it, I'd probably agree. Obviously with McGuane getting suspended, whacking
Yeah,
Alves in, pushing Harness back a bit. I think
yeah,
that'll definitely work. Alves getting more attacking. Hopefully could try feed Bojan and May as well. But yeah, I think that's a good lineup as well. I'd probably do the same thing.
yeah. I do feel like the likes of Mumba do need to let's step it up a little bit because yes,
Yeah,
he's only just come through the door, but I haven't been overly excited with what we've seen from him, to be honest with you, so far. Obviously he did come in, and he'd had a terrible recent time at Plymouth at least, not really on form at all, before he joined us. So yeah, it might take a little bit of time, but I do like him. I do like what we've
yeah,
seen glimpses of him, but he needs to do more. And for me, the back. I mean, I've never really been a fan of the back three, but it seemed to work. It seems to work in that game, on Saturday. So I can't
yeah,
really. If it works, it works. And you know what? Also, I love to see, and I want to see again tonight. I want to keep seeing us mixing up our play. I have no
yeah,
issues, yeah, with us playing out from the back sometimes, but you can also go long as well. You don't need to keep
yeah,
over relying on one style of play, and that's what Manny did. I could see it. We were going
yeah,
short sometimes. We were going long sometimes. That's what you need to do. So yeah, I like that approach that Manny had, and I just think it was just brilliant. But yeah, that's my lineup, guys. Let me know if you agree in the chat. And make sure you are smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel as well. And yes, we have got a few more comments. Lee's in the building says, "Good afternoon, Ryan. More fire and passion tonight, Mr. Manny." Yeah, that's what we want to see, don't we? You know what I mean? We want to see more of the same. I think because Manny has now set the bar so high now, that's the expectation. That's the level that he started on. So for us to drop massively, it'll be pretty apparent if we do tonight. So hopefully we can keep on that high level that we saw. But yeah, hope you're doing well, Lee. By the way, good to see you. And Adam said it's funny because at the start of the season we got Harness as a winger. Now he's a cam and central midfield. Yeah, I know you just couldn't write it, could you? But you know what? The thing is, yeah, I loved Harness in that cam position at the weekend, and that's why I'm a little bit like, oh, it's a bit annoying that McGuinn got sent off. But I do want to fit Alves in there as well, because for me, I do like his game. He showed, I was quite surprised at the lineup at the weekend as well, that he'd actually not started him, because it's obviously Alves has been in good form recently. He's scored a couple of goals last couple of games, and just come back from injury, obviously, I know. But yeah, so I think. But anyway, it worked, so it didn't really matter, does it? But I was a little bit like, whoa, why is he not starting? But yeah, so I mean, we are gonna just go back to, why does it keep doing this with this thing? So yeah, I mean, for me tonight, I just want to see us go at it from the first whistle again and just try and replicate what we did. Obviously, it's going to be, for me. Look, I think Bradford were awful on Saturday. I think this game will be more difficult, even though Luton are further down the table than them. Because for me, Bradford offered nothing in that game. Luton have got some really good quality in there. You know what I mean? The likes of Kadoa on that wing. You know what I mean? Clark and Walsh in that midfield. And, they have, I know they've been leaking goals a little bit as well at times, but I think their defence is all right as well. But yeah, they've got creativity in there, so we need to keep defend. I was also impressed with how you could say that Bradford were awful at the weekend, but I feel like we were just great and we stopped them from playing. So you can look at it both ways, really, but I don't think they offered much either. I expected a little bit more from them, but anyway, I don't really care. We got the better of them. Yes, I'm doing my best. Thanks. I'm doing my best, and yeah, hope you, like I said, good to hear you're doing great as well. But yeah, also these were the last two lineups, by the way, that I've got on screen now, and obviously, I mean, they might have a few changes in there. Obviously, Palmer, there's a couple of players that are coming back to our stadium tonight. Obviously, Palmer, we loved him around these ways. Wells. And Longvik really flattered the sea for me last season. I don't think he lived up to the billion that I expected. To be honest with you. So I was disappointed with him. But the other two, Palmer and Wells, were really obviously have good memories of those guys. So I did also want to cover a few of the press conference quotes that the press that I just love the way Manning speaks, and I know we've had it before with managers speaking good and all that, and they have to deliver on the pitch ultimately. I know that, but I am just impressed with him more than any of the guys that we've had in the past, because yes, we've had good speakers at this club, managers, but they've been dreadful. When it's with the action part of it. But yeah, I just like how he's very grounded. I think he's very much like he's not getting too carried away from that performance. And I just feel like I know. What do you make of how he kind of speaks? Because you can tell that tactically, he really knows what he's talking about, doesn't he, tactically, as well as just saying the things that we all want to hear. He's honest as well. I like that side of him.
Yeah. I mean, when I first listened to his first interview when we brought him in, I thought, right, it sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and if he needs to change it, he can. And obviously, he did change it a little bit on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, I think he'll be honest. He'll be open about a situation if things are not going our way. I'm sure he'll address it. And obviously, when things are going good, he'll tell us what is going good and maybe what we need to improve on as well, possibly. But yeah, I think the way he talks to the press and stuff, it's just a good thing for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I love his passion as well. You saw the passion that he showed on Saturday. That's what you want to see from the sidelines. You want to see this You want to see our manager, really be, vocal about how he feels as well, when we get results. But also, I also liked how he was kind of interacting with the players out there. You know, when we got a stoppage in play,
Yeah.
you know, he was speaking to a few of them. You know what I mean? And you know, and just being transparent with them. And you know what I mean? I feel like it's night and day in terms of like the kind of, you know, how we've seen the players out there be so quiet. You could just sit, nobody's
Yeah.
talking out there. But that was completely opposite on Saturday, and everybody was talking. Everybody were, you know, Ledson. You know what I mean, he's been disappointed this season, but for me, he showed why he was made the captain. Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
was
he
impressed
showed.
as well.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I wanted to see that, but I wasn't seeing it, so I was very critical of him because I just didn't understand how you can make a guy a captain that's just not speaking and not doing anything.
Yeah.
But it's clear to see that Grant just absolutely demoralised this squad, to be honest, and just wasn't a very good. It was clashing. I bet he was clashing with a few players quite a lot. You know, I
Yeah.
just get that sense, not because I don't like Grant and what he did, but I just think he did. Lisa, I firmly believe Luton are real shaky at the back, and with us being at home, should be exposing this as much as possible. Play like we did on Saturday, uh, we could easily put four past them. Yeah, yeah, you know, you're right, mate. Like Luton are shaky. Their away form is dreadful. That's what
Yeah.
I will say. And look, I'm not going to this game underestimating Luton because we can't do that. But I do feel like our home form is good. Um, I think we're unbeaten since the 16th of October. In fact, so we are, you know, we do well at home. Look, half of those games were draws because the mentality was to sit back when we scored and then
Yeah.
invite a pressure on. But yeah, we ain't going. I just can't believe it. But yeah, we're still unbeaten. We've got a good home record. We're up there in the top 4 or 5 in the home record.
Yeah.
You know, home form, home record in terms of points we've got. So, and they're towards the bottom in terms of away record as well, I believe. I mean, I don't know, but I think they are. You can tell he's a real good manager. Got Bristol City into playoffs as the championship with a small bitch. I think it's a fantastic appointment. Yeah, you don't do that out of luck, do you? You don't achieve what he's done out of luck. You know, I just think that the fans, you know, obviously the win on Saturday helped, so we've taken to him, but
Yeah.
I think we've really took to him very quickly, and we're behind him. We're fully behind him, and what we saw on Saturday also just kind of encourages even more. Kind of feel like, yeah, you know, we can really get behind this football that we saw, and I don't see it changing. We can talk about one game, what it's only one game, sure, but the approach for me will be the same tonight.
Yeah.
That will be what the aim is to do to do that. So, I mean, like I said, Ryan Ledson in this press conference as well also was talking about the obviously talking about it being more positive in the dressing room, you know what I mean, on the training pitch. And
Yeah.
the shackles were allowed to come off. You know, Liam Manning said to him, obviously, look, we're not going to get everything right, lads, but you know what?
Yeah.
At least try and do things, try and make things happen, and that's all that counts. You know, we're all human at the end of the day. We all make mistakes. So that's what you want. I think Grant, I feel like he was complete opposite. So I think very much kind of looking ahead to this game in isolation. I think the start of this game will be really crucial because Luton are coming off the back of that 1-0 defeat at the weekend. And they'll be quite fragile, to be honest with you, because they know their away record's bad, but they also know they're coming into this game knowing we're full of confidence and they're the opposite kind of spectrum. But yeah, for me, I just feel like we have to focus on ourselves. And if we play to our best,
Yeah.
even if they match us, I think our best is better than their best. That's how I see it, you know, because we're at home and we
Yeah.
have got revenge. We need to be getting some revenge on these because we've already lost to them this
100%.
season. So yeah. Adam says side out 600 away fans coming. Yeah, I did see that was the estimation of fans coming up. So yeah, it's a decent following for them on a Tuesday night. But yeah, the long way. And you know, these night trips, you know, when you come in a couple of hours away from home, it is difficult to get to, and that's so fair play. They probably would have brought more up if it was a day game, but it is what it is. they won't have much to shout about anyway, hopefully. But yes. But I don't really know where I'm going with this show because I'm kind of stuck for what to say. But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't really know what else to say. What else do we usually say on these? I'm just trying to think about what we. I'm so disorganized today, guys. Honestly, you can probably tell. Um, but what do we usually talk? We talk about. Yeah, I've done the line. I've done the. Well, I mean, the predictions. I mean, I've already done my prediction. I don't. I can't remember if you put your prediction last night, John. But I've slept
I
since then.
don't
But
think I did.
yeah, I can't remember if you were in last night or not. But um, in terms of the score prediction for this game, I mean, obviously Lee's already said we played to our best, then we can easily put 4 past them this evening. They are defensively vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think they're missing quite a few players at the moment as well. So I think, yeah, look, it's not opportunity. And yeah, so what do you think the score is going to be this evening?
Well, I think this could go two ways. I think it either could be a close game between the two, and either a 1-0, 2-1 kind of thing, or we can dominate them. You know, like Lee said,
Yeah,
pump 4 past them, maybe 3, maybe pushing 5. You never know. But I think if we can get a 3 or 4-0, it'll also put a statement out there in the league that look, we've woken up. You know, you should be fearing us. And I also want to go back to what you said before, when you're about Manning, you know, on the touchline.
yeah,
When we were watching Lee Grant before, you know, he just stood there, sat, you know, not really doing much, and you could see the passion on Manning there. And touching back onto Ledson, I watched
yeah,
the inside match day, and when the
yeah.
players were all huddling up, you know, Ledson said, "Look, this is a fresh start. Go at it." So I think it's a Manning's brought a really good atmosphere and good feel around the place as well. So yeah, if we can get 3-4-0, I think I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. And the positivity is what it's about, isn't it? You know, positivity.
Yeah,
It's a fresh start for us all. It's a great start of the weekend, and now we have to build it. And I agree, you know, Lee Grant was just stood there on the side with his hands in his pockets, too busy. Every time something happened, he used to just dash over to iPad and look on iPad.
yeah,
No, you've got to communicate. You know, what are you doing? It's just ridiculous. I mean, yeah. So it's night and day difference, and you know, we're just glad. I just wish we would have got rid of him earlier, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
anyway, that's another story. Um, but I also like how Manny spoke on the. For me, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory. I still think that we're going to keep a clean sheet. I feel like defensively we look so much more solid at the back and more. It was just organised. We were organised as a team. Everybody were working hard for each other, and everybody knew their roles. And that's what it's about. You know, nobody knew what the roles were in this League Grant side
yeah,
before. I'm sorry. You know, you know that's what you get when you hire a proper coach, a coach that should be in a coaching job, not this fraud that didn't even get it. He wasn't even an assistant at Ipswich. He was a bit part coach on the teaching the strikers to score for some reason, even though we were a goalkeeper back in his day. So yeah, I'm sorry, you know, the decisions that are pointing. But anyway, I'm not going to go on to that because I just think it's just a waste of time to go trying to look forward, you know. And we've got Manning now, and I believe that we can go places with this guy. But I also like how he's very much thinking about, you know, kind of. He said, you know, in the press that he said that, you know, if you want to achieve anything and sustain success over a period of time and win game after game, you have to make the behaviours that we showed on Saturday a habit, and that's right. And
yeah,
you know, and he said he's engaged with the lads about that as well, and said that, you know, the desire, you know, to run, the intensity, the duels, the togetherness, the spirit, the emotion, but the control with the emotion. I think that's equally important. He said so. He's right, isn't he? You know, it's about creating
yeah.
those good habits again because we've been in bad habits since the start of the
Oh
season. So
yeah,
it's about ingraining those good habits. You know, being honest with the players. You know what I mean? And you know, just yeah. I mean, look, the players will feel like Manning's coming, and they'll probably feel like, yeah, he's a kind of a breath of fresh air really from what they've had to
yeah,
endure this season. So everybody just feels really, really good. So yeah. Um, but he also kind of challenged himself that he wants to keep producing the performances that we saw. He wants to keep consistent. It's not about just one game. He needs to keep it going. He knows that. He knows that he needs, and we need to go on a winning run, like you said,
Oh
because
yeah.
if you look at the table, I am a bit concerned because there is games in hand. Teams below us got games in hand on us. I think Steven has got 2 games in hand. I think top of my head. I'm going to get the table with me actually. But yeah, I mean, just looking through the quotes now and just see what else to say. Now, I also liked what he said as well about. It was asked about obviously, they were saying about obviously these 18 games to go. Obviously, there's a gap between us and the top 2 at the moment. But yeah, he was kind of asked, what is in your mind the next 18 games? What's the remit? How are you envisaging it unfolding? And he started with saying we want to win as many as we can. He's a winning mentality. Yeah, saying that. Any fan, any player, any staff member should dream big. I agree. You have to, I think. No one wants me to come in here and squash ambition and dreams. It'd be bad to do that. But you also have to understand how we do that. And for me, where I chunk it up, 18 games is too far away to get targets and projections. We have to concentrate and get it right tomorrow. Tomorrow, obviously, we're speaking yesterday. Otherwise, where we're at in 18 games won't be where we want to be. So yeah, look at how he's speaking though. You know what I mean? He started off this, we're saying we want to win as many as we can. And then he goes on to say about, you know what I mean? He's very, what's the word I'm looking for? He's very like, I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. Right? He's very much like grounded and he's just taking it one game at a time. But he also said, obviously, he acknowledges that we have to, celebrate the wins. We have to enjoy it, the same as we have to hurt after the losses. But you have to bounce back quickly, and that's everyone associated with the club. That's what we have to do. And then he said also, I thought this was interesting. The final bit that he said here, he said to the lads on Saturday, enjoy it, go home, make sure. Then Sunday you rest, you recover, and your head's on Tuesday, and then when we're at the end of the season, look back and make sure we have no regrets on what we did in the 19 games that we had. So again, look at that final quote as well.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's refreshing. It uplifts me reading that. So what will it do to the players? It will uplift them as well. So what do you make of all these comments that he's been saying in the build up to this game, then, mate? Because I just feel really, really like it gives me confidence.
Yeah.
Hearing him and hearing what he's got to say, the mentality, the winning mentality and everything. He just says it how it is.
Yeah, I mean, from what he's saying, it does make me feel like, here we go, we've got a chance here.
Yeah.
Like we say, with 19 games to go, 18 or whatever it is,
It was 19. 19. Yeah.
19 games to go. There's over like around 50 points still to play for. So it's still not over, but with him saying that we want to win as many games as possible, I think that is a really good mindset as well. Whereas, with Grant before, he's been happy to go for a draw, whereas Manning might see if we're drawing, go for it, attack it. And yeah, I mean, like you said before, he's sounding really good, and he's going to be really good, I think. And tonight we've got another chance to prove that.
Yeah, he's got another opportunity, and it's all about backing up results, isn't it, in this league? And for me, we have to back it up. And Manning knows that. He knows it's another home game. The fans will be down there. And we'll be behind him again. And we need to bring that energy because you know what? Again, on Saturday, that atmosphere in that ground was electric. It was electric. And that's what we need, But it goes hand in hand because for me, we were, even like you said, I was going into that game and even before I got in the stadium, I felt the positive energy hit me as I was walking up to the side of the stadium. And I feel like everybody was excited. Everybody was just happy to have a change because that change needed to come way before it did. So Yeah, look, I mean, the atmosphere, we have to keep that going. And as I was saying, I feel like because of how the lads were playing as well, and we could see something out there, we could see a structure and organisation, manning, I mean, we could see an identity on that field. And it gave us even more confidence in the stands. And, but what we were seeing out there with the attacking approach and everything, I think that boosted the atmosphere even more. But again, it was just a joy, wasn't it? I mean, what did you make of it all? Because I had goosebumps in that stadium on Saturday, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, before I even set off to the game, I was feeling
Yeah,
like this buzz, and then on the way down, I could just sense that something good will happen today, and we won 1-0. Atmosphere was amazing, and the cowshed tifo, that was stunning
oh,
as
that was
well.
brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
but
mhm.
it's good to see the fans all coming together with that as well, and just you know the, we're getting back on track, and as long as we're back in Manning, I think, um, like, like I say, we'll do well, and we just need to
We'll
keep the
do. Yeah,
atmosphere again tonight as well.
yeah. I agree. Because we can't just have it for the one-off derby game. We need it again.
Oh no,
We need it again. And yeah, I agree with everything you said there, man. I was just really, really happy to see that everybody was back on the same page again.
yeah,
What I mean, this ex-manager we had was completely dividing everybody, the fan base, the players, and it just wasn't acceptable what we saw. So yeah, let's bring the noise again this evening. Lee says 3-4-0. So you've kind of tonight 2-0. Adam thinks. He also says I think we need some fresh faces still in the transfer. Yeah, we've got 5 days left of the window. I
yeah,
think left. And yeah, I agree, mate. I mean, I'm going to do a video. I know I said I was going to do a video today about the transfer, but I'm going to do it on. I'm going to do it on. I might pop that in tomorrow at some point. But I'm definitely going to speak about that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of how the squad's looking, obviously, are you happy with the squad, or do you feel like we need to bring in fresh faces, like Adam said? Because for me, I've said it, and I don't know what I want to hear your thoughts on this. Is for me, it was a crazy decision to let Joe Taylor go and keep
oh
Dion
yeah,
Charles at this club. I'm sorry. Apparently, that
yeah,
makes me have an agenda against, against Charles again. The experts on social media, I just have to sit there and laugh when people respond to me the way they do. It goes over my head, trust me. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of asked you two questions in one there. But first, I kind of think letting Joe Taylor go out on loan. I'm not saying he was in the best of form. What I'm
yeah,
saying to it is that he is the better player out of Charles. They've both been out of form, but I'm more confident with Joe Taylor. And with Manning as well, I think that Manning could have got a tune out of Taylor as well. I know it's easy to say that now, but I
yeah,
do. And Joe Taylor went and scored at the weekend. Yes, it's one game, whatever. But half of this fan base have been slating Taylor for months, saying,
yeah,
oh, we can't score, he's rubbish and all this. But because Dion Charles comes up with an odd moment of good play in a dozen games, he's the best. It's like, what are you talking about? I
yeah.
need a striker on that bench that can come on and make an impact. Charles is not the answer. But yeah, mate, I'll let you talk. But yeah, Taylor, and then who you'd like to see, what positions we need to strengthen as well in the window.
Yeah, I mean, I thought sending Joe Taylor out it worth the wrong move. I think if you're going to send any of out of Charles and Taylor to go out on loan, it'd have been Charles,
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, Taylor hasn't been in form, but I mean, I went to the Virtue Trophy game against Rotherham. Like, we were trying to feed him, but it won't get into him. And I just think if we kept him, I think Manning would have definitely got something out of him.
Yeah.
And I think Charles, he can have moments of quality, but majority of the time, like that Stockport game, the amount of offside runs he made,
Oh
you
my
know,
word. Yeah. Everything about his game is. I'm sorry.
yeah,
He came on at the weekend, and I was thinking it's like being down to a third extra man down, because he just doesn't do anything.
yeah,
Can't hold the ball up. The ball bounces off him. And for me, Taylor, we haven't even been playing to Taylor's strengths.
no,
What we've been doing to Taylor is basically just hoofing the ball up. And
Yeah.
what you mean? What is he meant to do with that? He's obviously small. So it's just ridiculous. So yeah. But yeah, Taylor for me, a big mistake. I don't know if we've got a recall after 28 days, but if we do, maybe we can recall him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure this fan base will welcome back because they don't seem to like him. Then they won't do. And people are talking about he has an attitude problem. I'm sorry, Taylor. What comes with the package that comes with Taylor is he does have an ego. I call it
Yeah.
an ego, not an attitude. He does have an ego, whether rightly or wrongly. If he was scoring goals, he was performing, then nobody would say anything about that. But because he
Yeah.
hasn't been doing that, they hope, they're absolutely, saying all this negative stuff about him. So yeah, you believe that, but again, I don't think anybody wanted Charles anyway, did they? But I still put them in reserves. Keep Taylor on that bench.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, that's what I see. But in terms of the transfer window, mate, I mean, obviously there's a few days left. Still got a few loan spots left because obviously we've sent a few loans back, as we know, with Goodman and then Redmond as well. So yeah, 2 loan spots up for grabs. What would you be looking at? I think it's pretty obvious we need another striker if Taylor's not going to
Yeah.
come back, and also, but any other areas?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, maybe looking at another striker, because I just don't have much confidence in Dion really. But yeah, I think maybe if we could maybe get one more in the midfield or something, like with Maguire,
Yeah,
like if Maguire, with Maguire getting suspended, maybe like someone similar to that who can come in with Ledson, or you rotate Maguire and Ledson about a bit. And then even maybe a defender, if Wallace or Low, not up to standard, but yeah, probably 1 or 2. I'd say if we can
yeah.
possibly get a Premier League loan as well, think that'd also help as well. But yeah, I'm thinking at least 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I don't know. I'm the same, to be honest with you. I think that I think it just make right. I was trying to get. I'm just gonna go to the chat. I'm not ignoring you guys. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to feel like the chat's been ignored. He wants to jump straight into action, didn't he? Instead of watching the stands against Sanford, didn't take the easy way out. Yeah, I will also love that as well. He could quite easily have said, you know what? I've only just come in. I don't really want to take the team yet. Although that wouldn't have been a good look if he would have done. But you know what I'm saying? He wants to get his teeth stuck into it straight away, and get into this derby and win the game. I like that mentality as well. So I agree. I liked it. Very front-footed and open and honest. Yeah, absolutely. Really, really refreshing. Siege mentality, Adam says as well. Yeah, definitely. Really, 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 really thinking about that for me. Brought a new level up. Yeah, he has. He's brought positivity
yeah,
with him, hasn't he? You know what I mean? And I do like the staff that he's brought in. He's not, bombarding himself with staff. He's got 2 other members on that team that he's got, and they're not academy. They're not academy coaches. These guys that he brought in, they've done well at other clubs. Yeah, one of them worked with Carlos Corberan. So I'm sorry. You know what I mean? That we know how Carlos was such attention to detail with tactics. You don't be his assistant for no reason. Clearly got something about you. So yeah, no, I like that. And then Lee says, to be honest, it was also spoken about Chris Markham, about Taylor, sending him out, letting him gain some confidence. Yeah, I mean, why can't he gain confidence either, Lee? Because for me, I just feel like he was the way Grant treated him, leaving him out of the squad so many times, numerous times, and people are saying, well, you know what I mean, I wouldn't be happy if that happened. It wasn't because he wasn't playing; he was being left out completely. There were a lot of talk about him falling out with Grant, to be honest with you, as well. So, I can believe that as well. I'd be falling out with Grant if I were Taylor as well. Well, in general, even if I wasn't, I could imagine him being your manager. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my word. Worst nightmare. You couldn't do out. More like Craig Charles than Dion. Who's Craig Charles? I don't know who Craig Charles. I don't know who Craig Charles is. You have to let me know. I don't know. But yeah, I'll go along with it. I'm presuming that works. I think Wallace has been a menace at the back. Everyone thought he was going to be a bench warmer for just the last 15 minutes of action. Most standout defender for me. I mean, for me, there's a few ways of looking at this, in my opinion, because the way I see it is everybody thought that he was going to, at his age, everybody thought he was going to be a squad player, come in when he needed to do.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And he wasn't going to play the amount of games. I feel like he's kind of had to play the amount of minutes he's had because of the defensive issues in terms of the injuries and stuff like that. But he's come in, and yeah, he has done well. Still think that his pace is a big problem. I mean, if you do go up, you know, to the Championship, you are going to get more exposed to that, because in League One, you probably can get away with it a little bit more than you can in the Championship. But the pace is it is an issue. But most standout defender for me, from what I've seen, I think Balker is the most standout defender. That's how I see it, because Balker, everybody knows how good this guy is, but it's just his injuries that is being the biggest problem for it, his biggest hindrance. So for me, the biggest standout is Balker in the defence for me. But I do agree with you, Wallace has really done well, and I like what I've seen of him, even though I'm not his biggest fan, admittedly, but like I said, you've got to give credit where it's due, and he deserves credit for performing as he has. I think Liam Manning can give players confidence. Yeah, no, he can keep building that confidence with the team as well. And the more he gets to know them a bit more, and the more sessions he takes and things, yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so we talk about the transfers. Any final questions, guys? Get them in the chat, and we will cover them before we head off, because we are approaching the hour mark. I don't know if they're going over the hour anyway, but for me, as we've already alluded to, he was an actor, apparently. Right, he was an actor. Craig Charles, yeah. Right, fair enough. I don't know who he is, but yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, look, as I said, let's be interested to see, you know, with the quick turnaround, is he going to keep the same team in there, or is he going to? Well, obviously, we know there's going to be one change at least, because obviously McGuane's not available. But what else is he going to do? I'm just intrigued to see what he's going to do, and you know what I mean. I want to see we're going to have to just kind of like just attack from the off again, and you know, the in-game management as well from Manning was good on Saturday as well. Don't you agree? Yeah, I liked what he did.
Yeah.
You know, he could see when players were tiring. He could see that maybe when we went down to 10 men, he thought, no, right, let's be reactive here. Let's get somebody else on each side of the field and ball up and get May off. Obviously, May had done a lot of work in this game, and so I liked that. Do you agree with that? Like, what did you make of his in-game management on Saturday? And do you feel like do you also feel like his tactical approach and the way he goes about games will be the same home and away, or is it just at home that he may be adapting this more attacking, or will he do it away from home as well? How do you see things with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're doing it at home, you should do it away as well. You know, if you're wanting to be adaptive to the situation that's happening on the pitch, you know, you got to be reactive and change it when it needs changing. And you know, when we did go down to 10 men, and you know, Lee Nichols did go down.
Oh yes.
I even saw him. He were pointing to some players that were still on the pitch, saying, "Get over there, get over there." You know, just to help get Liam Manning's thoughts across to the players. So I thought that were good from Nichols as well. But yeah, I think if he's doing it at home, definitely have to do it away, because again, you know, it is football. You got to be reactive to the team in front of you with what they're doing. So yeah, I think with these tactics, they will be good. And again, him being reactive is what sets him aside from Lee Grant as well.
Yeah. I think reacting to situations and adapting to it, that's what you need, don't you?
Yeah.
I agree. And yes, I mean, classic Lee Nichols style kind of antics. You see, I love that. I actually saw that as well. I thought it was funny. Hello to you, Storm. Storm's in the building. How is everybody feeling ahead of the game? Let me know in the chat, please. Any questions you have for me and our guest, Jack, of course. Make sure you do go and follow this guy on his Instagram page. He does fantastic designs. And every design you see on here on my platform, he takes his time out to help me so much. And I feel quite bad at times because I'm so dependent on him at times. But yeah,
It's all right.
but yeah, you do a great job, and I'm actually really proud of how far you've come as well in terms of like from the start when we started speaking to now.
Yeah.
You've come a long way, so you should be very proud of yourself for that. To be honest with you.
Cheers.
Lee said, was we not linked with Scott Twine at some point? I think it's Bull, but would be huge with Manning at Bristol. Yeah, no, that was a fake source, that mate.
Yeah.
I can categorically say that was absolutely fake. So yeah, no, there was no truth in that at all. And they were talking about, us spending, I think it said like how much figure did they say? I forgot what they said. Yeah, and you're telling me we're going out and spending 8 figures on this guy? No chance, not a chance in hell. So no, that was all rubbish. Storm says I'm off to the game. Yes, I am off to the game. Do you go to the game, Storm? Let me know. But yeah, I'll be there. And I'm excited for it as well. I don't know how I found Jack. Actually, good question. We just came across each other. I don't know if it was through, through maybe some of our followers on Instagram or whatever. But maybe you were friends with somebody I knew, and then I followed you. I don't know. But yes, the rest is history, as they say. But any kind of final thoughts? Let me have a look. We are at 52 minutes now, and we've kind of been. I've been so disorganized. I do admit that, guys, to you. I'm very truthful to you guys out there that watch me. That I'm also quite hard on myself as well, because I feel like I did come into this stream quite disorganized, and I think that I don't know. I have been scrambling around trying to sort out this new software, which is probably my excuse, but it shouldn't be an excuse. But yeah, I mean, anything else that you want to cover in this episode, Jack, in terms of what any closing thoughts or whatever, what anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I just think if from kick off, I think if we can, be attacking, get forward, I think the game will be there to be won. And also, I just think the fans about atmosphere. Let's get down there tonight, make an atmosphere, make some noise, and just prove that game on Saturday wasn't just because it were a derby. Let's get behind them, be that 12th man, and just help spur the team on to get the 3 points.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you've put it absolutely spot on there. Storm's in the cowshed this evening. Nice. I'm in the Kilner Bank stand, so yeah, that's where I sit. Where are you? Where do you sit, Jack?
I sit in the upper tier behind goal up with my dad. So yeah.
Oh, the family stand. Yes.
I've been there for a couple of years, so we've stayed there.
That was my first. That's when I got my first season ticket up there. Yeah. And I remember it well. You can see you're right at the top. You can see right over Huddersfield. It's great. To be honest with you. Too far away from me, now. I don't like being so far away. Leeds has also just seen the team will be arriving on the team coach. On the team coach. Grant's thinking they never did have. Yeah, that is a good point. And again, it's small details like this, guys, that make all the difference. If this wasn't a thing when Grant was here, and the thing is, that shows that Manning is all about togetherness and traveling together, with a coach, getting off the bus together as well. It all helps. Not coming in separate, not making your own way there. Would you agree with that? It's good, isn't it, that he's decided to implement that in terms of them all traveling together. I know it's a home game, but they're not traveling far. But I mean, like they're all coming down together into the stadium together. It's important, that for me. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, if you are a manager, you will want to build the relationship with your squad that you've got, and I think traveling with them as well, it'll be a big part in that as well. So yeah, I think it is good that Manning's bringing the togetherness back a little bit, and Yeah, overall, it's a really good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's small details that make a massive difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
One thing, big respect for the ball boy involved in the goal versus Bradford. He played his part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh my word. I mean, to be honest with you, it was just a day that was just fantastic, wasn't it, at the weekend? And we
Yeah.
just want to see more of that tonight. And if we can back it up again, that it stands in good stead going forward, even more so. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, but like I said, I do apologise for the lack of organisation this stream, but I've been getting used to this software as well, so I don't really know if I like this software, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest, but I did get a free trial with this, so if it saves me a little bit of money for the time being and it allows me to come on here, then I will do it, but it's not ideal because I do like my intros and outros, but it may have to do for the time being. Um, So yeah, well, I agree. In my closing thoughts for the show in terms of tonight, then. So yeah, like I said, I echo your sentiments as well about the fans getting down there and
Yeah.
doing our part. That's important, and we will be there because when you have something to get behind and when you have something like Saturday, it encourages people to come back. Of course,
Yeah.
it makes people excited. And I just think it's a refreshing change. We went into the game at the weekend not really knowing what to expect, but this time, this game tonight, I'm excited for it. And we haven't had that for a long time, which will only help.
Yeah.
I think all of us are excited for the game. So yeah, that'll only help the atmosphere in there. And yeah, if we start on the front foot again and we build on what we saw on Saturday, then it's going to be another great night in what is going to be absolutely freezing conditions. So make sure you get your layers on.
Yeah.
Get your layers on this evening. Hat, gloves, scarves, coats, jumpers. Get loads of layers on because it's going to be freezing. We know how cold it is down there.
Yeah.
All open stands in that stadium. So yeah, but anyway, as long as we get the 3 points and we play well again, I couldn't care less about how cold it is. It will soften the blow of the cold if we get a result. So yeah, let's get out there. Let's get down there. Let's see. So me and the players, they've had a few more sessions with but to be fair, not many to be fair. They've had probably like one session because they had recovery day on Sunday. So but they've had a little bit more time with the gaffer and let's see what we can produce this evening. And like I said, the midfield battle is going to be something that is going to be important again tonight. And because they've got some good midfielders in there that we're going to be coming against. And defensively, we need to be switched on again and deal with things when we need to. But hopefully, hopefully we're not on the back foot much, and we're just constantly going at them. To be honest with you, and just dominating the game. Up the town, indeed, yes, up the town, and we are going to head out now because I'm just waffling at this point, and I always get to this stage of the show where I just don't know how to end it, but I also want to make sure I've mentioned everything I want to mention. So yeah, more of the same from Manning tonight, and we'll be there. We'll be behind him, and let's like Lee says, win those first balls and second ones. Yeah, then first ball's great, but second ones are just as crucial. Let me tell you. And win the duels in there. Look and just show that fight again. You know what I mean? We have to show that in every game, not just a derby game. I think we have to show it in every game. I do think that the instruction from the manager is to do that. So I've got no concerns about it not happening again tonight. I'm just going there expecting to see the same as what we saw on Saturday. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because I don't see the approach changing. We're going to be on the front foot. We're going to go forward when we can. Yes, you have to retreat sometimes, go backwards, but we're going forward more than we're going backwards and sideways, and that's what we want to see. So every player, look, I do think that as well. Before we go, and I'm going to wrap up the show because I'm going that. I do think as well, Luton are coming here with a lot of travelling on there. A lot of travelling. They've already been down to Plymouth on the weekend. It's been a quick turnaround, so they're back up here. They're up here tonight. So they may be feeling the effects of that as well. So let's get into them early and see what they're made of and see if they are if they're a little bit exhausted and tired from the travelling and the quick turnaround. Because having 2 games, having a quick turnaround with 2 home games isn't so bad. But when you're going on the road, I do think it does make a difference, and especially going so far like Plymouth is. I mean, still quite a way for Luton fans to get to Plymouth.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and then they've got to come back up here. So yeah. Also, the players are not too tired for Brad. I think the adrenaline, I think the positivity will help in this game. To be honest, I don't see the players looking tired. I think they're coming into it with momentum. Momentum's everything. So I think yes, they might be feeling a little bit, but they'll just use that adrenaline. And I don't think we'll be seeing a tight. I think everybody, from the fans to the players, we're invigorated. We're uplifted. We've got energy. So I don't see that making any difference. And like I say, it is 2 home games that we've had. So we've not done any travelling in between. So they've had a recovery day. They've been to training yesterday. And, you know what I mean? They'll be all right. We could have a good points cushion if we win the team below drop. Yeah, oh, yes. I mean, before we go, I do want to look at the table. You've reminded me, Lee. Because, yes, it doesn't really matter where we are right now, but it does in essence, because we need to actually see what the state of play is at the moment. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit because we don't need to see. So yeah, this is the table. So this is a 6-pointer. This is a 6-pointer this evening between us and if we can win, create that 6-point gap between us and Luton. Hopefully the rest of the teams drop points and we win, the ideal scenario. And then we talk about games in hand, fine, but if Stevenage lose tonight, whoever they play it, and we win, then that's 6 points as well. So they've got 2 games under, so they could go, if they win both their games and they might go level with us, but there's no guarantees. So it'll be looking a lot healthier if we can win. And I'm always focusing on ourselves, by the way, guys, because we can't control what other people do. We can control what we can do. But yeah, look, the table, I mean, it is very tight. I mean, what do you make of this table at the moment? Because I do feel like we're at the moment, yes, we won on Saturday, but I still feel like we're looking over our shoulders a little bit below. We want to be looking up rather than that. But hopefully, you can keep getting those wins, pulling away from the teams below us. Then we can start looking up. And I know I've kind of wrote off the automatics, but do you see the automatics places gone now? Do you see that being concluded? We're not going to be able to do it. We're going to have to settle for a playoff place. So how do you see things in that area? Because people have got different opinions about that.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically, the automatic places are still there because obviously there's still a lot of points to play for, and we've still got Cardiff and Lincoln to play as well. So at home, so that could be a big factor as well. But yeah, I just think we win the games that we ultimately can, and just hopefully teams below us drop, and hopefully we can cement our place in one of the top spots.
Yeah, at least a playoff place, because there's no reason why we can't. We've got the squad to do it. Yeah. We've got the squad to do it. And now, look, it's one game, and people are going to say, don't jump too easily. But we've also got, I've already seen, we've got a proper manager in the building as well. And he's got a track record to back that up as well. No, we've only seen one game from him, but he's got a track record to back that up. So, yeah, look, we want to be looking up. And for me, the way I see it is, if we would have, Saturday, it's very easy to get carried away, isn't it? And I think it's easy because we've been starved of performance like that the weekend. And because we've got it then, we do get a little bit giddy because we haven't seen it for so long.
Yeah.
And I do think, though, if we actually kind of, we go on a winning run, there's no reason why we can't get closer and put the pressure on the top 2. I would say, but playoffs certainly should be capable of us doing that with a proper manager in the building now. So I'm more confident to get in the playoffs than I was before. And at least, but yeah, no, I'm not giving up on the playoffs, on the automatics yet. I think 10 points at the moment. Lincoln have got a game in hand on us. But again, it's still only 10 points. If they lose tonight and we win, it can change. It can soon change the table. So, I mean, guys, let me know what your thoughts are if we can make automatics. Do you believe now we've got man in the building that we can. And now we are going to head off in the next couple of moments, I promise. But I just kind of forgot about the table, and Lee kindly reminded me about that. But yeah, we will have a good points cushion if we win. So Stevenage play Peterborough. All right. Maybe we want a draw in that one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because Stevenage, Peterborough just below Stevenage, Peterborough just below Stevenage with a point difference. So yeah, we want a draw in that one. By the way, Tom, you put your lineup in, yeah. I mean, by the way, I'm not trying to out you on this stream, yeah. But next time when you jump the conclusions about commenting on my post, commenting on my video that I did about Manning when he came in, try listening to what I say rather than jumping to conclusions. Because this guy said that apparently I wasn't behind him. This is one of those fans that said that I wasn't behind him because I was concerned about what Norwich fans were saying. So yes, Tom, just make sure you listen to what I say if you're going to come and watch me, because I ain't going to be subject to stuff. If you can't bother to listen, then you shouldn't be, you know what I mean? So I just don't, you know what I mean? But look, I mean, is that the same lineup as what I went? Oh, you've got Feeney in there instead of Wallace. I mean, I do understand why you've done that, because they do have a lot of pace, Luton, and I'm just trying to think if Kadoa's on that side. Kadoa has got a lot of pace, so I do worry for Wallace down that side. I know Mumba will no doubt help him if he starts. Of course, I'm presuming we'll start similar tonight. If Mumba starts, he'll help Wallace, but I do worry. And then, yeah, I think apart from that though, oh, you've got Ashia in as well, yeah. I mean, Ashia was left out completely at the starting this squad. So was you surprised by that as well? Because I was quite surprised actually that he wasn't even on the bench.
I mean, he can be good. Ashia can be good pace down the wing. But I just think the downside to Ashia is he needs to pass it more. I think he's wanting to try and get a shot off to get a big goal, but ultimately he's got to do what's best for the team and he's got to try and pass it more, I think.
Yeah, he's certainly got a lot of learning to do, but he's still young, and I don't, you know, he's certainly a player that I like to see, and I do think he's a player that should be on the bench at least. But yeah, we've got a big squad. You know, we've got a big squad. I mean, I'd rather see Ashia on the bench over Charles for now. I don't care if Ashia plays in a different position, to be honest with you. At least he'll come on and do something in the attacking third more than Charles will ever do. Lincoln Bradford. Oh, right. So, yes, some interesting pictures tonight, isn't it, actually? And Cardiff, Barnsley. All right, interesting. So ultimately, tough games for teams around us, yeah. So it's going to be, I think, potentially a few draws in there could potentially happen, couldn't they? But look, the table, it's always nice to keep an eye on the table, but we just have to keep going here, and we just have to keep kind of one game at a time kind of thing. But we are going to wrap up now, because I've kind of said what I need to say. I've said everything, and I'm just waffling at this point. Well, you guys are staying with me. I appreciate you all. So if you make sure you do smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and really appreciate all your contributions in this show as well. But Jack, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great to have you on. I think you've been a fantastic guest. Guys, make sure you go and follow Jack. Any designs needed for your own stuff, do get in touch. And yes, you can find him on Jack's Graphics 17. I will actually put his link in the description. I haven't even done a description before this, so I'm going to do a description after this. And yeah, I'll put his links in. But you can just type it in on Instagram, guys, if you've got it. Right. Yes, I've already done that one. And then, yes, indeed. Come on. Let's bring the noise this evening, guys. And let's get behind the team, and let's hope we can see some more exciting football and some, plenty of goals. We want some goals, don't we? We want a couple more goals. We're going to be greedy now. We got one on Saturday. We deserve more on Saturday, admittedly. Now we want a couple more, maybe 2 or 3. But yeah, right, we're out of here. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, have a good rest of the day. Enjoy the game tonight if you're going, or if you're watching, I'll tell you enjoy the game as well. And yes, get wrapped up, and we will see you all very soon. Match reaction, transfer video coming up very, very soon tomorrow for you guys, and then back to the preview again on Friday. Normal slot on Friday nights. Yes, do join us for those. But until the next time, take care. And as always, up the town, Liam Manning's and Barney. See you all very soon, guys. Take care.